everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Corey and we are here for another WIP Wednesday episode 17, I think. I have it right. I never remember till I go to edit. But yeah, we are working on this page here. This is from the Sweet and Simple Whimsy Girls Mermaids and More to Color. It's from Hannah Lynn. I had actually picked it as one of my May What's in the Bag pages, and it works perfect because it's a mermaid, so it's part of Mermay. And I wanted to play around with my Copics that I've been spending money on, so it's kind of worked out perfectly. I love using markers in general on Hannah Lynn pages, and in this case I wanted to test out some purple hair colors. Plus I'm using my new Arteza marker paper. So yeah, let's have some fun. I'll play around with this color combo I've been testing and we will chat. If you are curious for the color combo, these are Copics. So it's V09 Violet, V06 Lavender, and V05 Azalea. Get that back in order. Okay. All right, so it is definitely the middle of the week. We did get some good news though. So as you know, I've had pretty crappy internet since buying this house. And the other day I saw them laying lines for the better internet, the company I had at my old house. And so I had texted a contact I have at that company. I was like, hey, I see them laying lines. Does that mean I can get you guys out here now? And so he came out and he looked and he knocked on my door last night. It was like 8 o'clock at night and he goes, hey, they have the box up. So I'm going to see what I can do to get this started. He's like, I talked to a few of your neighbors and they all have been waiting for us to get out here as well. I'm like, yeah, no kidding. So we may have better internet very, very soon. This internet I have now is so ridiculous. It's not just for like working and the kids, you know, using school online. It's gotten to the point where like it's affecting my YouTube as well. I went to upload a video the other day, and I've said this before, but it's just getting worse and worse. So it was like a 20-minute video, and I started uploading it at 10 a.m. and I had to leave it running overnight because by 9 p.m. it was still only 45% uploaded. So I had to literally have it run all night. I still have to record my WIP Wednesdays on a Monday or Tuesday. Today I am doing it on a Tuesday because it takes forever to upload. And the scary part is, like, if I do it on a Tuesday and I don't get it uploaded early enough, I have to basically not be able to post this till midday Wednesday because it takes forever. But this will be also uploading overnight, just like all my other videos. So yeah, I'm hopeful that that means we'll have the good internet soon. And by good, I mean we used to have a gigabyte. Oh my gosh, downloading with a gigabyte internet. You can't go from a gigabyte to 50 megabytes per second. And we're not even getting the 50 we're paying for. They have been sending out texts all the time since I've moved in. We have now had 4 texts. And each one was like, nope, I can't get you past 20. 20 is the highest. I'm like, okay, so why are you charging me for 50? And so like I even called their support and I was like, you guys can't keep charging me for 50 if your techs have flat out said they cannot, like, your equipment isn't supporting over 20. And so they just keep giving me the runaround. They are giving me discounts at least. I'm not paying for 50 if I'm not getting it. But they still haven't fixed it. Like last night I was barely getting 2 megabits per second. And by that I mean it was like 5 p.m. So basically once everyone in the area is home and starts using their internet, it just goes, yeah, turns to awful. But even first thing in the morning when I get up at like 5 or 6, I don't even break 20. I'm lucky if I do. So it's pretty ridiculous. But enough of the internet woes. Yes, baseball has started officially. We've got practices and the games all start next week. I'm kind of disappointed in the coach my son got. So he is like very chill, which there's nothing wrong with the chill aspect, but like so chill as he doesn't even think they should practice. So I'm like, okay. There was no baseball last year because of COVID. So most of these kids have been off from baseball for like a year, you know, possibly even more. This could be their first time ever. And he's like anti-practice. And so he's like, well, we'll do like 2 practices before the season starts. And so during our first practice, he didn't even have a date for the next one. And I found out about that practice just a couple days before it, whereas my daughter's coach gave me like a week's notice. And then I had to actually text him over the weekend and be like, so when is this next practice? And that's how I found out we had a practice tonight. But I was just kind of like, why am I having to like ask you this? Like, aren't you the coach? Shouldn't you be like on top of this? My daughter, on the other hand, she had her first practice Saturday, and it turns out her coach is really, well, he's hardcore, but not in like a mean way. Like, he just takes it seriously. Yeah, it's a rec league for her and, you know, stuff like that. But he's like, hey, I want you to get your money's worth and your kid, like, leave this year learning something because they may want to stick with softball the rest of their life. And it turned out he's a former pro baseball player. So that's also contributing to why he's so hardcore. But he's got them doing like fielding one day of the week, batting practice another day of the week. And he's very like interested in helping. Like, I let him know we had a batting cage. And so he's going to give my daughter drills to practice in her cage at home. Like, he's super on it. I don't have to ask when our practices are. He straight up, like, at our team meeting, gave us a list. And then, like I said, my son's coach is like polar opposite. I'm having to go, dude, when's our next practice? Like, when's our next game? Like, it's kind of frustrating. And I would put my son in comp baseball because he's very good and he should be in a comp league. It's just our arrangement with his dad. Yeah, I don't want to get into that too much, but basically one side is not supportive of his sports if it interferes with their visitation. So unfortunately, my son will probably never get to do comp baseball. My daughter, on the other hand, if she wants to do comp softball, she will get to, because myself and my husband are very supportive of our kids' sports. Like I said, I think last week, if you want to play sports, like, I'll pay for the gear and everything. Like, if you're serious about it, I will help you be as good as you can be. And so yeah, if she ends up wanting to do comp, she'll be able to. But it's so interesting how you never know the type of coach you're gonna get. And I don't want anyone who's like super hardcore treating a rec league like a comp league. I don't want that, but I really wouldn't mind if you told me when practices were. Is that asking a little too much? I don't know. Maybe it is. But yeah, so we have baseball going on. Mother's Day is this Sunday. So happy Mother's Day to those of you who are mothers or even expecting mothers. You count too. It's nuts. I totally just lost track of time. I can't even believe it's May already, to be honest. I don't know what the heck is going on with this year. It's just flying by. But yeah, for Mother's Day, we're probably just going to hang out here. I don't think we'll do much. The last part of my furniture was supposed to come on Cinco de Mayo, which is Wednesday when this will post. And they called to say that my ottoman part of the order is delaying the whole order. So now it's like end of May, I'll get the last 3 pieces. I'm just like, I was so close. I thought I had it. I thought I'd have all my furniture by today, or, you know, by Wednesday, but no. Gotta wait till the end of the month now. And I even asked him, I was like, okay, you told me it was going to be on the last truck, so now you're saying it's going to be on this truck. Are you sure this time? Because it's kind of getting annoying. But the gal I spoke to said that for sure it's on that truck. So we'll see. We'll find out. But like I said, I've got most of my furniture now, so I'm not as cranky about it. Our fence is pretty much up. We have just one gate that's being made because we have these custom sized gates. But my husband put up a temporary fence just to hold the dog in. So I'm no longer cranky to him about that one, which I'm sure he's thankful for, because pretty sure he was getting, well, I know he was sick of me being like, so when's the fence going to be done? Are we done with the fence? When's the fence going to be done? And I was so glad because it rained the other day, and I was so happy to have a fence and just let the dog out in the rain, let her go do her thing, and not have to go walk in the mud pit that is my backyard right now. Oh, there we go. But yeah, I don't know what kind of weather you guys are having. Utah is notorious for horrible season transitions. Spring here, we really get like 1 week of actual spring. The rest is like this back and forth between winter-like temperatures and hot. Like seriously, it was almost 80 the other day. Then the next day it was 40 and hailing and raining and snowing. And that happens all the way through April. And then one day you just wake up and it's 90 degrees and spring is gone and summer is here. So this Mother's Day, apparently it's going to be cold and rainy, which I was kind of bummed about, because the last few days have had pretty good weather. So I was like, ooh, this is great, you know, but it's supposed to be cold and rainy again this weekend. It's been nice with baseball. Like you almost feel like things are somewhat back to normal-ish. Like the league hasn't decided what they're going to do with masks right now, because our state doesn't have a mask mandate anymore, so no one's forced to wear one. And they even say you don't need one outside, but you're still supposed to, you know, keep your distance. So right now the rule is the kids have to wear their mask in the dugout. But then, like, if they're on the field, they don't, which is good, because, I mean, that would be pretty suffocating. Like, how are they supposed to run with one of those masks on? There's no way. And plus, you know, it's baseball and softball. They're pretty well spaced apart on the field. It's not a heavy contact sport or anything here. No one's tackling one another. But, yeah, they haven't really gotten back to us on that, but it's been nice, because like you'll go to the field, you know, you sit in the bleachers, as long as you're sitting apart from people, you're not wearing a mask. It's hard to explain, but it kind of feels a little bit like normal. I don't know how to explain it. It's just you sit there and you feel kind of calm, like, hey, things are kind of normal-ish again. Like I said, last year we had no baseball. Because of COVID, they canceled baseball entirely. So it's nice that we have a baseball season right now. And that's just helping make things feel a lot more normal too. But I can apparently get my vaccine at my pharmacy. So I need to sign up and do that, even though I'm like really nervous about it. Because I know they say it's safe, but I'm like, how do you know? Like, you don't know what's going to happen to all of us 10 years from now. You can't tell me because you don't have that data, but I'm going to go get it done. I need to schedule it. I've heard mixed things. Like some people get really sick on their second dose. Others don't have any issues. Like I've had a few friends and family all get it. My husband, you know, he's a firefighter, so he got it. But he couldn't even get his second dose because he had a like major rash from the first one. So the physician told him, you know what, let's skip your second one, and then when that Johnson & Johnson one comes out, we'll try that on you. But nobody can even get that one out here, so I don't know. But a few guys he worked with had really bad reactions on the second, while others had no reaction. So I'm kind of curious what will happen with me when I get the second. Everyone seems to have the same reaction on the first, though. You just have a really sore arm. So I'll just plan for that. But the second one, I'm like, oh, am I going to get sick or am I going to be just fine? Because I've had like friends and family that have been like knocked on their backsides for several days after that second dose. I'm like, ah. So if any of you have had a weird reaction, please don't tell me because I don't want to psych myself out. I'm just going to go in there and be like, no, I'll have no reaction. I'll be totally fine. Yeah, I got to do that here pretty soon. This week is so crazy busy. Just with the kids' sports stuff this week, and then, you know, Mother's Day. We have tons of appointments. But the one thing, so ever since we bought this house, you know, I've transferred all our utilities and all our bills and changed our address with everybody in the world. And I kept like thinking to myself, gosh, there's something I am missing, but I can't figure it out. Like I've looked at my checklist, you know, I even printed some offline to see if like there was certain companies I wasn't even thinking of. And I could not put my finger on what I forgot to change over. And so yesterday I'm in my kitchen and I see an ant, and then it hits me. Pest control. I forgot to move our pest control service over. Oh no. So they're coming Friday, but hi there. This occurred on a Monday. So yeah, it was like 4 ants, and what's weird is they're coming in through the kitchen, but the kitchen isn't ground level. Like our kitchen, Utah builds houses weird. Where I come from in California, a 2-story is straight up a 2-story. Out here, it's like the front end of your house my front end of my house looks like a 2-story. But the back end of my house, if you look at it, looks like a 3-story because the back side has a daylight basement, but the basement facing the front of the house is not daylight. It's like half daylight. And by daylight means that the full basement window is above ground. So up front, it's half up, you know, above ground, whereas out back, it's way above ground. I know, it's really hard to picture. If you live here or you live in a state that builds houses this way, you'd know what I mean. I don't even know how they do that, because when you look at a house, it looks like it's on even ground. It doesn't look like the back of the house is just like suddenly the elevation drops. But anyway, so yeah, technically my kitchen is on the first floor, but at the back of the house where the ants are coming in and where my kitchen is, it is now the second floor. Like, so it's raised above the basement, and I can't figure out why ants are coming in right there, because I should see them in the basement, right? That's the one that's ground level. So yeah, I started with 4 ants, and I had seen a bunch. Oh, this one's getting so gunky, I need to clean it. I had seen a bunch coming from, wow, this one's really stuck. Whew. I had seen a bunch coming from under my oven. So my husband pulled out the oven, and they were coming out where the gas line comes in to the house. So that's where they're coming in for one. And then they're coming in like through the baseboards where my deck connects. Like, they've got 4 entry points in my kitchen. But yeah, pest control was what I forgot. So we put out like those ant bait trap things. they're not working as fast as I need them to because I can't handle ants. I cannot handle ants in my house. So I'm just gonna get some straight up ant spray and spray them all, kill them all, whatever. I've been like, I swear, I feel like every hour I get up, I go to my kitchen and I'm, you know, killing ants, vacuuming, and I don't have like crumbs all over my floors. My floors are pretty crazy clean, like, you know, partially because I have OCD and I can't handle crumbs. I step on a crumb and I lose it. But, you know, also like I've had people come over and go, "You own a husky for real?" Because you don't see dog forever on my floors. I just can't handle dirty floors. So why are the ants picking my house? Like, there's nothing to find, people. Like, you know, I take, like, there's no crumbs, but they're here and they're coming in like 4 different points. And I, like, because I have OCD, I literally couldn't sleep last night because of those stupid ants. And we do live in the country now, where there's just going to be lots and lots of bugs. I mean, people warned me about this. You know, we no longer live in like a suburb. We are straight up open country. I really need to start sharing more pictures of views. I did on Instagram the other day the view from my master bedroom. Like, it's an awesome mountain view, but there are tons of fields in between us and the next set of houses, and all of the owners in this subdivision own that property, so no one's building behind us, so that view stays. Out of the front of my house is just farmlands. I mean, houses are super far away. We have awesome views. Like, I can see mountains from the front or the back of my house, but we are in country land. So the price you pay for the awesome mountain views are you get some buggies, and you get a lot of buggies a lot sooner than I would, you know, in the suburbs. So I've got the ant problem and they're all over the place. And yeah, the pest company comes Friday and they take care of it. Whatever they spray it like around the, you know, all exterior exposed walls. And then they do it on the outside too, and that'll tame the ants. But we already have flies. Like the other day, there was a wasp just straight up like on my deck. I'm like, ah. So yeah, we have awesome views, but the trade-off is you got to deal with the bugs. And I'm okay with the bugs. I just don't want like ants in my house, especially like when they're starting to creep their way towards your pantry. Because I kept having like these nightmares that I was going to open my pantry in the morning and it'd just be like ant infested, you know, ants just like falling out of boxes of cereal or something crazy and ridiculous like that. That did not happen, by the way. I woke up and yes, there was a bunch of ants making their way to the pantry, but they weren't like even on the second shelf. So irrational fears is what kept me up last night. Even was up so late worrying about the stupid ants that I woke up with a migraine. So it's like, ugh. But yeah, that is what I forgot was pest control. And hopefully they can figure out ants. Like, I mean, they can fit through the smallest crack. Yes, this is a brand new house, but it's not hermetically sealed. There's going to be a crack somewhere the ants find their way through. That's just life. But hopefully I'll be ant-free by next week's WIP Wednesday, because I just hate it. I hate going in my kitchen and seeing ants, little trails of ants. And no matter how many I kill, they just keep coming back, never-ending pile. I mean, my husband's like, hey, don't you find it so fascinating how ants like maneuver? I'm like, not really. Maybe outside of my home I'd find it fascinating, but in my home I just am like, no, this is not, go away. But yeah, so with the hair, if you've noticed, I've kind of changed it up depending on where the hair is flowing. You know, sometimes I do dark and meet light in the middle, similar to how I do real looking hair with pencil. Other times I do kind of just an ombre effect. It just depends on where the hair is. Usually like the end pieces, I do the ombre effect, whereas like the ones that are all wavy and curly, I try to give the highlights to. I have found that purple is one of the harder colors for me to blend, especially with my Ohuhus. I really struggle to blend my Ohuhu purples. And I've seen like a few cute purple combos with Copics. This is one of them. So I bought these 3 to try it out. And it's working pretty well. But yeah, with my Ohuhus, I've noticed purple is really hard to blend. Especially if they don't have something really close to the next one. It's kind of rough. But with the Copics, I've also found I work better with this brush nib on the Copic. I mean, these things are expensive. This one marker was like $5.60 or something like that, which is nuts, but it's refillable. But the nib on these darn things is just, I don't know. If you have like a Copic in one hand and you sit there and color, and then you take your Ohu and color, you'll see what I mean. You have so much more control with the nib on this thing. It doesn't bleed. Like if I accidentally put it down a little too hard, it doesn't bleed. Like my Ohuhu will straight up go out of lines. I can't make the same flicks with my Ohuhu markers as I can the Copic nib. I don't know. And then I just noticed like Copic, their ink layers a lot better. And I don't know if it's because they're slightly lighter, but I can layer them and blend them a lot easier than I can any of my Ohuhus, even those that are like really close to one another in color. I can't get that same result. But I don't know, it's just something about that nib that they have. This one is really gunky. I need to clean it out. It was an ultra juicy marker. See how gunky it is? I don't know if they like overfilled it at the Copic factory or what, but like I remember when I took it out of the box and I went to swatch it, like it had a bunch of ink just pooled at the tip, so it went all over the place. I was like, whoops. But yeah, it's still, I just love these Copics. I don't want to do a lot of color alongs with Copics because I don't know how many people own them, or would want to see color alongs with Copics. And I'm still learning Copics the Copic way. But, I mean, that nib. Sorry, Ohuhu. You just can't compete with the nib. Do need to clean this gunky one, though. I actually have a video on my channel for cleaning Ohuhu markers, but it applies to Copics as well. The technique is the same, other than the nib care. Nib care is obviously different. Copics, you can pull this nib out and replace it, so if it gets frazzled. Because the whole point of the Copic is an investment. I have invested in this marker right here in front of you. I buy replacement ink. I think the new replacements, from what I've read, will fill 3 to 5 times a Copic sketch. You got to remember those refillable inks work on the original Copics, the sketch, and the Chow. But from what I've heard and read and researched, the refill in a Copic sketch, you get 3 to 5. The range, I don't know why. It probably just depends on when people start or decide to fill theirs. But yeah, 3 to 5 from a refill. But you're basically investing in this marker, and you'll use this marker for permanently. Unlike Ohuhu, where right now they are working on refills, but until they have all of them, that's kind of a mole. The point isn't there. But I'll be able to refill this for however long I want. I just buy replacement nibs if the nib goes out. And so the refills aren't very expensive. And so the cost of your Copic over time, oops, wrong color, goes down, when you think of the long-term investment. Whereas with like my Ohuhus, I have to replace that marker. And I know they're working on like open stock and refills and whatnot. Oops, it went over a little. Let's just do this. Which is awesome. That'll be a total game changer to see a budget marker brand do that. But even if Ohuhu had those refills or had open stock of all of their colors, which they need to do because their latest set is kind of shady, they don't have the Copic nib. This nib is just, it's gold. Love it. And what I mean when I say that new Ohuhu set is kind of shady is it's that new 200 plus brush set. They have combined their 120 brush and their 48 pastels, but then they have a new set of mid-tone colors in there that you cannot buy anywhere else, which kind of upsets me because Ohuhu knows people have already bought their 120 brush and their 48 pastel brush, and then they come out with this 216, I think it is, set. And if you already bought those other two, the only way to get those new mid-tones is to buy that set. Like, they do not offer it separately. So I find that kind of not cool, and I hope they come out with the mid-tones separately soon. But also, that new set has 12 out of the 36 skin tone colors. So then you would have to go buy the skin tone set, and I haven't double checked yet to see if the 24 set is what's missing, you know? So like say that those 12 are the extras that make the 36. I haven't checked on that. But if that's not the case, then you have to go buy the skin tone set just to get the rest. And again, you're doubling up on what you already have. So I love Ohuhu, but they need to do some work there. And maybe they'll come out with that mid-tone set soon, and it's just kind of an exclusive to the big set right now. But it was really frustrating to me because I was like, oh, I would love to see these mid-tone colors because I've always felt like the 120 set just wasn't quite there. The pastel set helped a ton. But I would love to see what's in this mid-tone set because that could really change up how often I use my Ohuhus. But I won't be able to tell because I would have to go rebuy two sets I already own. So yeah, I'm on the fence though. Like part of me is like, well, maybe I'll just buy it and see what they are, and then I'll have a backup because a few of my Ohuhus are running low on ink. So gotta replace them eventually anyway. So oops. That was one of my thoughts, but I'm kind of on the fence about that because it's just irking me that that's the only way you can get that 216 or the full set, you know. It's like, no, you have to buy this to get everything. But Ohuhu is a good brand. They do listen to their consumers. So honestly, if they get enough consumers asking for that mid-tone to be separate, they'll do it eventually. They are pretty well known for accommodating consumer requests, whereas Copic does not give a crap. They know you're going to either buy the Copic or you're not going to buy it. So they're just like, yeah, I don't care what you think. That's why when people were enraged about the refill situation, they didn't care. Because apparently, this was before I started buying Copics. They used to have bigger refills, and Blickart still sells what's left of the big refills. I should start buying those, honestly, if I had a brain. Buy those now. But what they did was those old refills used to give you like, I don't know, up to 10 is what I've read of Copic sketch refills. What they did was they came out with this new refill, which it looks like a pen, and it kind of makes it easier to refill your marker, but it only does the 3 to 5 times, and the price tag stayed exactly the same as the big refill. So you see why people who have had Copics for a long time got a little upset about that. I would too, but I've never experienced that. So for me, I'm just like, oh well, you know, it's still saving me money in the long run, even if I only get 3 to 5 refills. Okay, so we finished her hair. I figured that would take all of WIP Wednesday, but let's see. Ugh. Get my massive swatch stack here. It's all of my swatches stacked together and just held with this little ring thing. I mean, I swatch everything from pan pastels to distress inks to all my pencils, etc., and obviously my markers. So here's all the Copics I've acquired. I really wish I had an Ohuhu chart like this, because I would like to go through with the brush only and see which colors I still need. So if anyone has seen a marker chart like this for the Ohuhu markers, could you let me know in the comments below? I would really love it if you could, because I'm trying to see what Ohuhu markers I'm missing and not miss, you know, like what I need to get next. So yeah, this is what I have so far with the Copics. I think we should give her some lips and some eyes. Let's do green eyes because she's got purple hair. Oh, we could do blue eyes. No, I think the green will look better with that purple. Okay, so for green eyes, so I'm going to G43 and G40. Okay, and then for lips, I do want something really subtle. So let's try, could do my reds. That one's a little too bright. I think I'm going to do RV11 and RV000. All right, so let's see how those work out. So RV11 is pink. And this is Hannah Lynn. I never go for realism here, FYI. And then RV000 is pale purple. Let's see how that looks when it dries. Okay, so for her eyes, I'm using G43, which is pistachio, and G40, which is dim green. I love the numbering system of Copics. I love how they do the color families and all that. And the way they number them, it really takes a lot of guesswork out of it. So I give them kudos to that. I mean, there are a lot of reasons I see why they cost so much. I mean, do I still think it's ridiculous? Yes. But they do have such a pretty array of colors. And I just love this nib. Yes, I'll go on about the Copic nib forever. Okay. I think she's looking pretty cute, actually. I know she looks kind of creepy with her eyes filled in and her skin all pale. I suck at skin work with markers. I'm just going to straight up put that out there. Awful at it. Awful. So, still working on that. But yeah, I'll probably, as I keep working on this, I'll do her skin, her little bikini top. And then, you know, I've got the sea and the sky. But this will all be in Copics because I've been trying to play around with them and whatnot. So I think I'll call it good here, though, because the next thing would be skin. And I probably shouldn't try talking through that when I'm trying to do the skin. I get really nervous with marker skin. Like, it's so dark. Like, you see people do the shading and you're like, oh my gosh, it's so dark. And they blend it well. And then when I go to do it, it just looks patchy. Well, and I have to focus. And now that I'm working on marker paper, I think it'll be a lot easier because I was always trying to do skin on, you know, the actual book paper. And marker paper, I have noticed quite a dramatic difference between this paper and even just my regular cardstock. I got alcohol marker on my nails. it comes off. But yeah, I think we'll call it a day here. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and for everyone out there, you know, have an amazing Mother's Day and weekend, and I will see you next week.